Here we go. Welcome. New broadcast. Just got up from a multi-hour nap on a Friday afternoon to get back to the books. And we're studying. We're doing it, man. We be doing it. Um so happy Friday, y'all. First thing we're going to do is we're going to kind of go through and replay the Friday. We know we closed down low today. Truth is, we already know what the price action. So, what kind of studying do we need to do? We need to do studying that allows us to prep for next week. So that's where we'll start. And we're using, let's go ahead and get rid of that. So the first thing we're doing is we're going to use Deepcharts. And we're going to create a new profile chart. And we're going to do it for NQ. Right, and this is a TPO chart. So it's a profile based on time price opportunity. So the time that price spent at certain price levels. I like deep charts. The reason why I like deep charts is because it is very aesthetically pleasing to me. It's fast and responsive unless you load like, you know, so much tick based data that it's really hard to it takes a lot of memory, right? The more data you load that you need to access on the time horizon, you just need more. So this is NQ, and this is over 30 days. But the truth is over to the left here, first thing I kind of look at is I don't know where our next level is that we've done business at, right? So we essentially closed over the last 30 days, we made a new low, right? We broke previous low and made a new low. Okay, so new daily low. So if we look at this, we made a lower low, a lower low, a lower low. So that's 3 days straight. Okay. And I don't think I can put trend lines on this chart version. So we won't. But you can see that we made a lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high for 4 days straight. And prior to that, before we had this transition, right, we made a higher low, then an equal lower low, a higher low, and a lower high, and a lower high, and a lower low. So this is really a transitional period. So I'll break down this TPO chart a little bit more. let's zoom into a level. Let's take this zone, this daily candle. This is from the the 21st. Man, I can't believe it's already the 24th. So this is from the 21st, which is Tuesday. And this was Monday. So this is where our week started, right? So we can call that make it blue, right? We're going to add some text to it, align it to the right, make the font size a little bit bigger. Text is going to be white. And this is weekly open, all right? Duplicate it, scroll up here, get rid of this line. Now we have a weekly close. What's crazy when it duplicates, kind of weird. Where did my text go? This is kind of weird, man. I could swear that I had text here. Doesn't like it. Try it again. That was the weirdest shit ever. It doesn't show up. That's kind of, oh, it's on the left. All right. Should be on the right. I thought I just did that. Am I not crazy? Anyways, we do it again. All right. Text. Then we're going to make this a style so we don't have to do it over and over again. So right, text size, text color, weekly close. And then we're going to this opening, weekly open and close range. All right, and we just make it blue, right? This one has a background. I don't want background. Did I not save it? So some things that you don't do very often, you have to save it and then it's there. All right, that's going to be the default. So whenever I draw a line now, that's what it does. All right, you have to change the label, but it's there. But I don't want the background. So save it. All right, so that's what our week looks like. Okay, so that's the first thing. And that's where price ended on this line right here. So nothing too exciting here, but this is 30 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So that's 30 calendar days, 22 trading days. Let's move it out to 60 days. So this is when, depending on the memory of your system, this is when it starts to have to hold more data in memory. Okay, so it's gonna be a little slower, right? It starts to, but look at here, we still don't have um, a level below the weekly close to reference. So if we're looking for a reversal, we have to look to the left. So we have to keep looking to the left. So it's 60 days by tick. Let's do custom. Let's go 90. Okay, again, I think it's going to be a little bit sluggish, but we need to find our levels, right? We need to make this happen. All right, still 90 days. We don't have a level to reference. All right, let's make it 120. All right, now we're talking. So I think that's enough to work with, right? There's lots of room to the downside, right? So this goes back 4 months, 120 days. So what we're gonna look for below is the last area where value hung out for a while. Well, this just impulsed up, all right? We had some value right here. Okay, so what could we do for a previous range? Um, Everything's subjective, right? Let me close it. Let me zoom in a little. So we're gonna move this down, make it a little bit bigger and a little bit wider. Okay, so this area to the upside is where we established previous value. Looks like we dropped down, retested that value in the top half of this box, and then we continued to go down even lower. We dropped down to this low. Almost broke it. Retraced back to the value area low and then continued to travel downward. So this zone right here is what I would consider the top of the range and the last place where price battled and fair value was established. And this is NASDAQ. All right, so now we do the same thing to the downside. Well, we look to the left and what can we see? We see a lot of uptrend, but what I see down here is we spent 2 days where this was the point of control. This is the value area high. This is the point of control. Then it turns into the value area low. So, and also here, the value area point of control was the value area low. So this is a little tough, right? Because it's all subjective. But I would say that this is the range that I would look price to target to the downside. Because all we see here is the POC migrating up, the POC migrating up, the POC migrating up. It come back down to test the value area, but it has yet to come back down to test where we found a couple days or 3 days or so, 4 days where there's a little bit of overlapping, right? So this is where I would expect to return. Now, something that we can do with profiles that's interesting is we can merge them. So the value area for these two profiles, the orange level, right? They pretty much mirror most of the action for that day. So what we can do here is we can merge those profiles. What you can see is it pretty much takes us to this value area here, this orange level right there. Even tighter, zooming in a little bit, that looks better. So this where I'm gonna look for a long, and it's a technical level, and we'll add some text to it. It's an opportunity. Okay, we're looking for a long opportunity. Okay, and on the top side, come back over here. Let's see what we have. Say this is the top of the range. Looks like the point of control is about 50%. So we can do the same thing here in this profile. Um, most of the volume is in this range, right? We came down and then we repaired before we moved down further. So if I was to look for an entry, for a short on the higher time frame, I'm likely going to, man, there's two different areas though. Okay. There's this area right here, but I think it kind of gets disqualified because the point of control and about probably just as much value distributed is below. So that's not really where we found value and stayed very long. I would say that this range is probably what I'm looking for. And then the short opportunity is going to be, God, come on, man. Come on, man. This is going to be our short opportunity. And the short opportunity on the higher time frame. Now we got two levels that we're looking at. Like to keep things clean. So the other, if we really wanted to make it a range, you just duplicate this because it's never a specific price. We can make that our range. Then on this side, on the bottom side, I don't know, I like that right there. This range, right? Two different ways to look at. Draw two lines. I'm going to look for a reaction in here or in this zone. Probably 50% of the zone before popping out. So there's a lot of room to the downside still. And if we look from a point standpoint, this is 4%. It's another 1,000 points. This week, we saw 3.92% decline over 1,000 points, 1,100 points. To this next level is about 1,100 points. Isn't that interesting? Okay. Is it a coincidence? Then at the top side, let's look above it. That's just okay. So we found two levels about 1,100 points apart from each other where value was established. So if I come back up here, this looks like a really juicy level. Okay. Value was here for quite some time. That's a point of control, point of control, point of control a little lower, came back up a little higher, back to it, a little bit lower, a little bit higher, up, down, and then we broke it. So we're going to call this the level where previous value to the upside. So we'll just make this a different level color. Just I don't know. Uh, previous value area. That's all we need. Right? We don't need to be super. All it was a previous value area where price spent time and two-sided trade occurred. White line color. Perfect. So now we have 4 levels, actually 5. and price sits right here. Okay, so let's draw a line from current price up to the previous, or from the, sorry, from the previous value area. Let's call it, I don't know, do I need to merge these right here? Yeah, I think I need to merge these two. This will give us our, there we go. That looks much better. So probably something like that. I mean, technically, you're right. You could keep doing this, right? Could come back to here, right? Clean that high before going lower. Tapping back into this value area high, right? So it's subjective, but this is a strong level where we spent time for a couple days. And before that, we were a little lower. We came back up and then dropped down. So shit, we may come back to this value area low right here, or back to this point of control, or to this value area high. So this is, this looks good to me. So now we look for the area of previous value above from here. We'll say from the weekly open, or actually from where previous value was established. And we're going to come up, and that's only 300 points. Okay. So 300 points. This is another area. Here's another area. I'm just looking for that 1100. Not it. That's all we look for. We look for patterns. Oh, so that's 3200, 800. We're almost getting there. How about to the high? 2000. Let me double check this. Am I looking at points? Yeah, 1100 points. So from the high back down to here is 1700. Okay, that's it. Okay, interesting. So up here, this is my level, and we've yet to tap back into it. And this is 1400. Okay, so that's not my level, but it's a good level. If you want to pick that level, oh, it's this one. Okay, right here, right there. And from there to here is 1000. So it's not there, right? It's all subjective. 1200, right? But from the bottom, it's 1100. So we did tap back into this level already, and we tap back into it again, but we haven't tapped into this level. That's 1000. Down, tap back into the zone, left it. I think it's a little bit lower because we already tapped in here. Lower high, equal, low. So I don't think that's the zone that I want. I want to tap back into something that hasn't been mitigated yet. And that looks like somewhere value area high, which we established value. It's been the value area high. It's been the point of control in the value area high. Okay, let's look at that line. That's close. So 1050. All right. And what we can do here is actually just delete that, duplicate, put it at the value area high. So then we take this high to this low, and 50% of that is basically on my short, which is a level we haven't tapped back into yet. So maybe we break it, then continue down. Who knows, right? But long term, that's what we're looking at. Okay. So I like that. That's our long term analysis on where price has been, where price could react to in the future. And there's not a lot down here, man. There's a lot of room just for it to go because there was no value. So the price is gonna seek a place where there was value. Well, shit, man. This is really all the way down here. I don't know. This is zone. Low to this high, something like this. Not even, man. How about 24,000. That's a big correction. Right, so that's our dealing range. Okay, so now let's start to add on some layers. All right, if we look all the way down from the bottom here, I can't do it on this chart because this is profile chart. I can't do all my drawing tools I'd like to do, like Fibonacci lines and stuff. So we'll do that later on a different chart, but we're going to do a composite volume profile. Okay, this is interesting, right? We got this big area, and the top of that level is essentially after this big liquidity void, right? Right here. So that's interesting. Then you can clearly see that the last place where there was a bunch of two-sided trade occurring was down here. Biggest amount being right there, which is my long entry. All right, so that looks good. I like that level. And we can see, obviously, this is the top. There's big rejection. Tapped into it once, lower, tapped into it again, tapped into it again. So we tapped into this area, the top of this range. All right. Say the putting a high, putting a low, kind of we've tapped into that range multiple times. Just a little bit lower every time. So all that looks good. All that looks really good. Okay, I don't know if I can put moving averages on here, but let's try. I've never done it on a profile chart, so no, I can't. What's available? Not much on the profile chart. Deep profile, deep time profile. Okay, so volume and time, basically, TPO. So we're limited on this chart. This is just more for doing what we just did. Okay, so we have all these levels established for 4 months. We don't need to go 4 months anymore. We can come back down to, so we've already profiled it. I guess we can keep it. It's we're gonna create a new chart, okay? And I'm gonna drop this down to another screen for the moment. And it's gonna be a price chart. And this is where we're gonna do some more detailed technical analysis. All right. And then we're gonna add the levels. You can't see it, so I'll pull it up here. But I'm gonna add these levels from the profile chart to my time chart or whatever chart. It doesn't matter. Like I'm doing 5 minutes here. Um, let's make it 4 hours, okay? Just because I think that's better. Then we're going to draw tools from other chart. Here's our profile chart. Boom. Now we have some levels to work with. Obviously, there's levels to the downside too, right? It's all here. Okay, even though we only go back 3 months now instead of 4, we know what our level is over to the left. And we don't need to look for it anymore. It's ready. So that work is done. But let's have a little more fun, right? We're going to try to find some confluence. So let's go, actually, let's go back to 3 months by minute data. Um, let's do 6 months by minute data. All right. So now we have our levels. This is insane, right? So here's something I like to do. So this is a previous range, right here, a swing high to a swing low. Pretty close to where my entry is. So it's pretty much the golden pocket, right, of this range. Right. And let's do fib main. So the 386, 618, 50%, 382. This zone right here is the golden pocket, and we're entering at the bottom of the golden pocket here. Okay, which I like. I think this is solid. So that matches up. Okay, so I like that level. All right, and so that makes sense, right? It's a valid theory. Well, what happens often is price will leave a range, tap back into 50% of it before coming back out and leaving again. So what we can look for here, for me, is taking a long to there, right? If I see us coming back towards this range, I could take momentum and take a short, depending, right? Before I take this long, right? I could take a short into it from here, right? It's going to be over here somewhere. And then I can take the long back out to the top of this range before we continue down. Or we start to move back up before we move back down again. Something like that before we back up, etc. Right? It could go on forever. So there's a lot of paths, but you kind of have to visualize things at some level. You got to have a plan. So here's another thing I see, right? So let's just start, it is what it is, right? Now we got a channel here, right? We got this channel. Well, you see something like this. right? Back to previous value, right? That could be one thing. I mean, this could even go here, like I was saying. Clean this, repair all of this profile where there was a imbalance. We clean it up and then continue down to this next level. Right? I mean, this could even just come, here and then back down and keep trending down, right? We don't fucking know, but we have to have a plan, all right? And then see if it's drawing out. So that's sweet. So that makes sense, right? From a standpoint, this is an error. I don't know what this is. It's some kind of weird glitchy error with the data feed. Um, but this whole area right here needs to be cleaned up. Then this needs to be cleaned up. Then this needs to be cleaned up. Big buying imbalance. Not much to clean up here other than this. So the long-term trend is up. And I anticipate that we're going to work our way down. I mean, this might be a little aggressive. We're going to work our way down um, to here. So it's somewhere in there. But I can see it clearly here. I can see the imbalance. So this drives me crazy. When you have two things overlapping, it's really hard to click on shit. That's my only downfall with this. There we go. We can get rid of that. Oh, why can't I fucking delete? This is ridiculous. It shouldn't be. Oh, there's a bug with their program. Um, because I put this on that shouldn't be on the profile chart though. I can't delete it out. Why can't I delete this line? Is it not on this chart? So I'll show you what I'm looking at. It's kind of weird. We draw our zone. So there's a lot of room to the downside. Look on the profile, there's a lot to be repaired. And then we're building this base above, which is why I'm putting my short right at the bottom of that base. I mean, we could have come all the way back up, but we already tapped into that value area low and are moving down. So this is kind of how I approach just understanding how the market is moving and what could possibly play out in the future based on what has happened in the past, on volume, two-way trade, where previous and current value areas reside, and whether we're in price discovery or balance. Well, right now we're in price discovery. And if I had to call a range of previous balance, it's going to be this whole range right here, right? Probably from this low to this high, actually to the value area high, to, I mean, like I said, it's subjective. Now we're establishing balance lower, right? This is I mean, maybe that's even it, right? That's kind of previous balance. So we're going to return there probably before we go down farther. And then we can take a short from probably here. All right, so that's cool. Now let's look at a Fibonacci for this whole swing. There might be more, but we're gonna call it from, let's get off of the profile chart. We can do it from right here. Okay, so this is the swing low. All right, clearly. And this is the high of the previous range. So we're just gonna do some cool shit here. Well, price created this range and just bleep, 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 all the way home. Right? So we're gonna tap back into this range. And the question is, how far into that range do we tap? Well, if we just go based off of Fibonacci levels, we could expect to retrace 50%, then see a reaction, golden pocket. I was saying, we did this already. Somewhere between the 50%, the 38, and the 61. And it's not a straight line. It was a straight line on the way up. So lots of room to the downside. If I had to put my money on it, which I will at some point, I think we can make our way all the way down to here. Okay, let's add a composite volume profile. But this is where previous value was established. So could be like right there, the bottom of previous value. All right, that's going to take a few days. Next week. So after looking at channels, we need to break that channel. All right, this is going to be a while. We got to like, we're probably going to react at this somewhere around here, right? And then, you know, try to maybe some buyers step in. But maybe this just keeps crawling down nice and slow. We come back and then it gets bought back up just to come back down again. Gets manipulated back up. So I think that's a pretty good analysis of what to look for in the NASDAQ. So we have a short opportunity at the value area high of the 6-month profile. This is a very strong short. We're already there, right? But we're probably going to tap back in. We don't have to, though. It could just go, right? It doesn't have to come back here at all. But generally, when we take out a low, you can see we retrace back. And we take out the next low and we trace back. We take out this low and we retrace back. Took a while for us to retrace back to take out this low because it just got bought back up. But the best way to get good is to do this or do something like this because it is algorithmic, and yes, news and things drive price and events and everything. I'm getting a little tired again. um but this move up, man, this was a crazy move up. So I think we could at least expect another 4% before we maybe come up and make another all-time high and test the top of this long channel. Right? And then this channel within a channel within a channel within a channel. Absolutely insane, right? That channel. Absolutely insane. Absolutely nuts. Then we found value, established it, jumped around a little bit, and now we're rejecting it, going back into price discovery. And we're going to land somewhere where there was previous value. And that doesn't look like anything until we get to here. Okay. So there's my technical analysis for NASDAQ. All right, so let's save this as a template. We're gonna call this um how do I what can I do here? I don't want to save a template. I want to save the workspace. We're gonna save it. And we're gonna give it a name. This is gonna be August. It's almost August, not quite, but July, August 2026. Um, NQ profile and TA. All right. So now we can get rid of it. So what's cool, if I ever want to come back and open it up, I can simply load it because I'm generally not going to have that open all the time. You can start from 0, right? And then open my workspace and both of my charts come up after the memory loads it in again. So then everything's there. So I don't have to do the work again. A lot of times though, I'll erase it and redo the work because that's just how I do it. So let's take a look at some crypto. Before I do that, I'm just going to take a minute break and we'll look at Bitcoin. All right, so this isn't my technical analysis. This is a service. I have a lifetime membership to it. I paid like 600 bucks and it's basically like signals and tells you where things are. So it does pretty much what I did manually using some different indicators and stuff. Because the volume profiles and the order flow stuff, you can do it on for sure. But uh, in crypto, but everything's so decentralized that crypto prices vary from exchange to exchange. Well, this is looking at Binance, so it's based off the Binance one day. So a free resource. You could also pay for it. I pay for it, but I just don't trade crypto that much. I'm not subscribed now, but I like this $18 a month plan, $20 a month for a single month for a site called coinank.com. Coin Inc. Um, I'll just take you into a chart. It doesn't have everything, but there's some free tools so you can get some free charting stuff, right? You can add in some more indicators, volume, etc. Some are premium, so it's gonna have you buy. I used it for a very long time before. It's all web based. There's order flow. It's a pretty good site for crypto, and it's fairly affordable. I'm sure there's other ones out there, but it gets annoying being asked to upgrade to. They're really pushing, right? But they put a lot of time into it, so it's a good platform, I think. To be honest, I think they're based out of China, so um, crypto, man, it's just in a really, it's just fighting right now. So we're in this. zone. Paired all of this. I mean, kind of bullish. We're at this first deviation band. We could break down farther, just the way everything is happening right now, but we've had such a move on Bitcoin that it looks nothing like, I don't know, this is a 5 minute chart. Let's look at a daily chart. The fuck just happened? Did that? I don't know what the fuck's going on here. Oh, it's big trades. Okay. You see these liquidations. Okay. Liquidation event. 24 million liquidated. More liquidations. Insane. Too much. Um, these are big trades. Big trade 50,000 for Bitcoin. That's in, I assume, US dollars. Oh, this is what we're looking at right here. So the liquidations of 50K, big trades of $1 million. Crazy. Binance, Bybit, these are all the big ones. So it basically aggregates. All right, so what are we looking at here? Um, uh, I don't know. Oh, I took a nap and I'm still tired. Might need some coffee for a midnight session here. Um, yeah, so it's super interesting. I don't know how far back I can go. This is daily. How far back is this? 2023. That's how far back it goes. I guess we can go farther. Thing is I can't zoom out, right, on this. So we need to do like a weekly or monthly. Let's do a monthly. I don't like all those. I got to figure out how to get rid of all these daily lines here. It's very annoying. That wasn't it. So it's not grid lines. What am I looking at here? Season break lines. Session break lines. That's what we want to hide. Okay, beautiful. Much more. So this is a month. These are monthly candles. So this is interesting, right? We tap back into this range right here. And I put a horizontal line in the middle. See, you can't. That would be nice if you could. I think I need to use like a GAN box or some shit. It's a rectangle. I don't know what they call it, a fucking GAN box, but I don't even know where it is, so I'm too tired to think about it. Trying to find and use features. Man, that's the problem. You use more features and software you use, the more things you have to learn, and it just gets overwhelming. What you can see is we return to this zone, right? And we tapped into the 50% range right here before leaving it and then continuing down. So unfortunately, I'm looking for another leg down. But we could easily work our way back up to. Could be a fake out to the downside where we make a low, put in a high, put in a low, clean the high, clean the low, come back and then go, or opposite. Low, put in another high, then put in a low, clean the high, come back halfway and go the other way. Anyways, you don't fucking know, right? But this is pretty technical what happened here. Now, if we take a bigger range, and these are already pretty big ranges because they're monthly candles, right? Um, this high to this low, we left the range, come back in. I think we could, fuck, man. I'm in a position I need to get out of based on what I see here. God, this is gonna drive me crazy. I mean, 43,000. That's scary. We could see Bitcoin come all the way back down to 43,000 if we make our way up, come back in, tap into a range, clean up something that's unmitigated before leaving again. So, okay, this is interesting, right? So if we look at this, 50,000 is right here. Okay. If we put a fib, 618 is at 48,000. That's the golden pocket. Okay. It's a reference. It's not an entry. Web-based program is okay. It's not the best, but I mean, it gives good data. It's just kind of a pain in the ass to work in. So, golden pocket. So, I think that is completely possible based on what I see on the technicals here. So I think we see 48,000, 50,000 before we see 100,000. Absolutely insane. From over 126 what thousand, something like that, all-time highs. What is this number right here? 126, 199, all the way down to 48. So I'm a buyer down here. Short term, technical. We look from a leg standpoint. You have something like this low. Swear to God, this drives me crazy. Low to put in a high. We broke through that. Just didn't even come back, right? Again, low to put in a high. These are monthly candles, remember? Tapped into it and just sold off. Broke this low. Low that put into a high. Right? Left it, tap back into it. Before leaving down to mitigate. Yeah, man. We're at some resistance right here too. I could see this coming all the way back up. Man, we could go to, okay, so we could go to 72. All right, we can go to 72 before we go down to 48, before we make our way back up to 100. We've already had multiple swings down, so this could be where we make our way back up and we don't even see 48, right? We don't know. We already cleaned this low. Maybe we're going to come back up. But if we look On the long term, God, so frustrating. Long term trend is up. Long term, meaning very long term. Medium term trend is fucking straight down. And short term trend is down. So here's what I'd be looking at. Oh my fucking lord. Oh my fucking lord. It's just laggy. That's what it is. I'm gonna look at a reaction at these two levels here. That's interesting. So we'll see which way it goes. Now let's see what the analysis here is. Um, shows resistance at 75, at 50, at 65, support at 60, support at 55. All right, so we got some lines here. We just broke to the upside of a down channel. We got a breakout. From a channel down. RSI 9, 14, 25, all neutral, neutral, neutral. Stochastic RSI oversold. Ultimate oscillator bullish, oversold. That's bullish. ADX is weak. Not a lot of effort to push the price up. Month over month, bearish. I guess that's month over month. MACD bullish. Simple moving average 5 up, 10 up, 20 up. So very short term, it's an uptrend. 50 period. I would assume this is based on the daily. Yeah, it's the daily. 12, 26, 13 up, 50, 100, 200 down. Two percent today. We're down. Flat on the week. Up 4.8 on the month. Down 17% on the 3 month. Down 28% on the 6 month. Down 45% on the year. 26% year to date. And it's just a pullback. This is previous day high and low in a $2,000 range. So it's bullish short term based on the July 24th, which was yesterday's technical analysis based off Altfins. Because it's a bullish breakout from a down channel. But we're below the 200-day EMA, which is generally bearish. All right, let's do this. Let's put it back to the daily. Let's add a couple indicators. Yeah, I guess look at this. ICT structure. ICT has a fucking people are using his structure in his names and shit. Good for him. But I just need I have moving average. That's a featured. I don't want to go featured. They're just trying to pump you to. We're gonna do simple moving average. We're gonna add two of them. Did I not add them? What the fuck over? I don't know what happened to performance on this, but it's getting worse and worse. This is not. I don't want any of this shit. I don't want footprint. I don't want big trades. Oh my God, this is driving me fucking crazy. So that's why you pay to not be driven crazy. Okay? That's why you fucking pay. It's really slow. It's pretty sluggish. Fucking unlocked VIP. I don't want any of this shit. I want a fucking simple motherfucking moving average. Can I only add one? Are you fucking kidding? Do I gotta duplicate it now? Oh, I can add multiple. I see. All right, so we're gonna go with 50 day and 200 day. Didn't type 500, motherfucker. So yellow is the 200. We're above the 50 and below the 200. We rejected off the 50, which is a good sign. Yeah, so it looks kind of bullish, right? On the short term. but the last few days been on a down swing to pull back, test previous support. I mean, hopefully making our way up to the, this is the dumbest shit ever. Hopefully we're making our way up here. Hopefully there, back to the 200. Then we go down to 48. Possibly. This drawing tool is fucking stupid. I can't undo it. You fucking kidding me, yo? Are you fucking kidding me? How hard can it be? Maybe I'm just getting old. Just lost my hand-eye coordination. So this EMA is starting to flatten out and maybe start to curve up for another leg up. So that would be nice to see right there. So let's see this. I'm in a position right now. See, this is stupid. See, I'm trying to just get on. It's so small. So fucking small. You gotta be so precise. So fucking laggy, dude. That would be a good target. 72,600. 71,600. 72,300. Trying to get out of this trade and protect profits because I kind of felt like we were going bullish, but I didn't. The 4 hour. I'm hoping we get back before we hit my stop here. I don't want to take this $42 hit. So we have this. Hopefully we're protected here. The only thing I don't like is that we broke through this trend line here. It's the only thing I don't really like. All right, so I think that's enough for today. Um, we got an idea of next week for crypto. Y'all have a good weekend. I'll be back tomorrow, probably doing some back testing on some different Deepcharts templates. Pick a random date and test from there. Have a good